she crazy, don't give a fucking crazy. Yes, oh, you're crazy. Oh, you're crazy.
Have you drunk this whole thing this morning?
Oh, you got this going. You got this going?
I just started it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Really? See that shit on me?
No, I didn't. You were smashing shit.
Bye.
Hi everyone, this is the Decoder. If you are longing for shocking, mysterious, unsolved cases, embark with me on a fast journey to the dungeon of dark, real stories. Let's try together to unlock the mysteries surrounding the videos we upload once or twice a week. If you like this video, please don't hesitate to push the like button and subscribe to our channel for more unsolved, puzzling stories. Here's a fact. You cannot hide the information you post on social media. Once it is out, it is simply out. But you can choose what, when, and why you desire to share the material you have. For this is a race whose winner is an honest human being, whether they had 0 or 1 million followers on Instagram. Okay, back on track. If you are Team Johnny Depp or Team Amber Heard, I honestly don't know what to say, but spoiler alert, the jury came to a verdict that Johnny Depp won the defamation case. But did he really win? This trial has already taken over the internet. People are confused by it. It is being broadcast live from multiple platforms and millions of people are watching. But why? Is it because they're both famous? Is it because of the allegations that are being thrown upon one another? Or is there something else being played beyond this trial? Well, make sure you grab your coffee, find a decent chair and put on your glasses, and in case you don't wear any, that's fine. It's time to see the testimonies, tribulations and trial of 2 of the world's well-known actors in Hollywood. This is the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard story. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard all started when they first met on set during the shooting of The Rum Diary in 2009. May I add, they were both in relationships at the time. They did split up with their partners in 2012 and then started dating in the same year. They then got engaged in 2014 until the couple tied the knot in a private ceremony in the Bahamas in 2015. This story isn't only about romance and the glittery life of celebrities in Hollywood. Instead, it is more than social media can ever show you, and all that glitters isn't gold. Why? It is because after 15 months of marriage in 2016, Amber Heard, or should I say Mrs. Depp, filed for divorce. 3 days after Johnny Depp's mother, Betty Sue Palmer, passed away. Amber Heard asked for a temporary restraining order against Johnny Depp, who is known to the world as Captain Jack Sparrow among Disney's thriving film series Pirates of the Caribbean, as she claimed he abused her while under the influence of drugs and alcohol, making this silver lining story turn into a battlefield between the two, as they are currently facing each other in court, following the trial of Depp's defamation case against Heard, which began in Virginia on April 12, 2022. The case. So, how does this case come about exactly? Well, it all started from an article that Amber Heard wrote about Johnny Depp. A year after their divorce was finalized, Amber Heard wrote an op-ed piece where she spoke about cases of domestic abuse of women. She wrote, "I became a public figure representing domestic abuse, and I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out." She did not mention Johnny Depp's name in the article, even though she later says the abuse happened in 2016 when she was still with Johnny Depp. Who else could have caused these abuse allegations? Depp read the article in the Washington Post and denied such allegations, suing Heard for $50 million for defamation over the article. Depp's lawyers stated that the op-ed depended on the central premise that Miss Heard was a domestic abuse victim and that Mr. Depp perpetrated domestic violence against her. Heard is not a victim of domestic abuse, she is a perpetrator. They then later stated that Heard's abuse allegations were part of an elaborate hoax to generate positive publicity for her. Heard then detailed multiple instances of alleged abuse that she said occurred during their marriage and referred to him as the monster, and thus she filed a countersuit for $100 million. And thus, the rollercoaster ride that is the trial has begun. The trial. The trial alone has enough information to cover so many videos, but we need to narrow it down to figure out the true meaning for the trial. Now, it's time to enter the crazy house that are the allegations being thrown by both parties of this trial. The first allegation thrown by Amber Heard is Johnny's addiction to drugs and alcohol, which caused his abusive behavior. Depp has admitted that his addiction to drugs started at the age of 11. He stated he wanted to calm down and to escape his feelings of his chaotic life with his mother, and so he took nerve pills that were prescribed for his mother. He then moved on to smoking weed, taking acid and alcohol. This all comes down to Johnny Depp suppressing his childhood traumas. His addiction then grew onto OxyContin during the set of Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, before he got into a relationship with Amber Heard.
I saw a chiropractor or a kine or whatever. I saw chiropractors and to no avail. Then I saw a doctor and the only pain medication that she recommended and prescribed to me was roxycodone. There was a part of me that was a little bit worried, just in a sense that I know I've witnessed friends and people over the years who've had problems with heroin, you know, and I didn't want to get bit by that snake, and I started taking the Roxys, and I was bit by the snake.
He then started to detox from the substances during the relationship. Amber Heard, knowing about his substance abuse with drugs and alcohol, there's a situation where Amber Heard sets up a camera whilst Depp is having a breakdown, and the reason for this breakdown is that he found out his manager was stealing from him. His hand was also injured and his mother passed away in that exact morning. Instead of comforting Johnny, Amber instead tried recording his reaction towards the situation and later sent the footage to TMZ in order to reveal that he is a monster.
Were you in here?
No.
So then nothing happened to you this morning?
Yeah, you're right. I just woke up and you were so sweet and nice. We were not even fighting this morning. All I did was say sorry.
Did something happen to you this morning? I don't think so.
No, that's the thing.
You want to see crazy? I'll give you fucking crazy. That's crazy. Oh, you're crazy. Oh, you're crazy.
Have you drunk this whole thing this morning?
Oh, you got this going. You got this going.
I just started it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Really? Sneak that shit on me,
No,
motherfucker.
I didn't. You were smashing shit.
Oh, bye.
Depp proceeded to break different objects in the kitchen, showing anger to the situation, which, by the way, is one of the 5 stages of grief. Amber proceeded to ask Depp what happened, even though she knew about the situation. Now, this evolved towards messages and letters that are used as evidence from one another's. Depp's lawyers presented 2 private letters that Heard wrote to Depp, alongside an image of the pair on holiday in Australia from what they described as a series of love journals that Heard had complied and shared with Depp. One of the letters stated the following: "Falling madly in love with your friend. That is what has surprised me perhaps the most, that I have seen in you the true bones of friendship and respect. But I still, of course, more than ever, want to rip you apart, devour you, and savor the taste. Fret not." The other letter that Heard wrote to Johnny said the following: "I'm sorry, I can get crazy. I am sorry I hurt you. Like you, I can get wicked when I am hurt, when I feel provoked, shattered. And last night I was." Heard wrote in the letter to Depp, "I felt abandoned by the Lily Rose thing. I felt absolutely bewildered by you not coming home on my last night here, and I was heartbroken and angry after many attempts in vain on my part to rectify the situation and make amends on the last of what was an otherwise gorgeous trip with you." Now, even though Amber Heard's letters may possibly be viewed as proof of her intentions and the conflict between the two within the relationship, the court was shown messages between Paul Bettany and Johnny Depp in 2013, Depp adding in the messages, "Let's burn Amber." He added later, "Let's drown her before we burn her. I will her burnt corpse afterwards to make sure she's dead."
You text Mr. Bettany, "Let's burn Amber," 3 exclamation points, right? You see that?
I do see that.
And at this time, June 11, 2013, Amber is your girlfriend or perhaps even your fiance at this point, correct?
Girlfriend,
yeah,
for sure.
And you didn't stop when you said, "Let's burn Amber." Because the next text down, you say, "Let's drown her before we burn her," 3 exclamation points. Did I read that right?
Yes, it's referring to the
and
text prior to.
After that, you made another comment. You said, "I will fuck her burnt corpse afterwards to make sure she is dead." Did I read that right?
You certainly did, yes.
And you wrote that about the woman who would later become your wife.
Yes, I did.
In response to that, Depp stated that it was a Monty Python reference. Emotions through messages can be a spur-of-the-moment thing. Actions are louder than words, as they say. But these sorts of allegations go beyond what we could have imagined in the trial. Heard alleged that Depp forced a cavity search on her. She stated that he thought I was hiding his drugs away from him. She also alleged another incident in which she was sexually assaulted with a liquor bottle by Depp. Looking at this, these are serious allegations, and the first thing you think is to sympathize. Now, this alone stirred up tension within the Me Too movement, instantly siding with Amber. Now, hearing these allegations, you may think that this is insane, and to be honest, that could also be a possibility. There is a voice recording that was brought up in court of an argument between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard arguing, and Heard stating in the audio clip, "Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them I, Johnny Depp, a man. I'm a victim too of domestic abuse, and it's a fair fight. And see how many people believe or side with you." After hearing the allegations stated and then hearing the audio clip of the same person, how would you interpret this? This brings an immediate conflict within the Me Too movement as to who is really telling the truth in this situation. Now, this goes beyond the allegations. The two have issues beyond their relationship. As mentioned before, Johnny Depp with his substance abuse to hide his trauma. This trauma stemmed from the abuse of his own mother. Depp stated, "Physical violence, physical abuse. That was a constant. We were all somewhat shell-shocked. She'd walked past. You'd shield yourself because you didn't know what would happen." Depp later said that the verbal abuse, the psychological abuse, was almost worse than the beatings. The beatings were just physical pain, the actor added. The physical pain you learn to deal with. You learn to accept it. You learn to deal with it. the psychological and emotional abuse, that's what kind of tore us up. But Johnny is not the only one that has flaws. A forensic clinical psychologist who evaluated Amber Heard testified in court that she diagnosed the actor with borderline personality disorder and histrionic personality disorder. The scores Heard received on professional psychological tests were associated with people who were full of rage and socially sophisticated. The psychologist Shannon Curry stated, "These people might have that anger kind of explode out at times." Curry said, "They tend to be very passive-aggressive. They may be self-indulgent, very self-centered. They could use manipulation tactics to try to get their needs met. They're very needy of attention, acceptance, approval." Hearing all of the allegations, recordings, evidence shown, stories told, and diagnostics between the two, it's clear that the situation is beyond complicated, but something to take into consideration is how these two are reacting throughout the trial. Amber Heard with what looks like forced tears, Johnny Depp's charm of making people laugh in court. You have to remind yourself, these two are actors. Any emotion that they show can manipulate how you view them. It's a game on both sides. The outcomes. Now, you're probably thinking, why have I presented this in such a neutral manner, seeing both sides of the story even though it is clear that Johnny Depp won the case, that he is the true winner of the story? But I don't see that. Now, don't get me wrong, Johnny Depp is now considered a survivor of domestic abuse, but with Amber Heard's allegations of saying Depp abused her. This just shows that abuse has no gender. The Me Too movement has been affected by this, as it's mostly been women that have been abused. But in this trial, this is not a case. This trial has shown that men can also suffer from abuse, and that we need to break out of this stereotype that men can't be abused, as mentioned before by Amber Heard. I, Johnny Depp, a man, I'm a victim too of domestic violence, and it's a fair fight. Saying that in such a manner is extremely damaging. At the end of the day, everyone is a human being, and we all suffer the same way. This case shows that it's not only about domestic abuse, but it's about fighting this cancel culture that has grown over the years. People jump straight into a result without analyzing the situation and seeing both sides. Because of the Me Too movement, people were siding on Amber being the abused one, whilst Johnny is the abuser. Well, that's not the case. Things have changed now. People's eyes are opened. A 2008 study on domestic abuse noted it is critical to emphasize that the making of false allegations of spousal abuse is much less common than the problem of genuine victims who fail to report abuse. This case alone is a prime example of how a culture we are so used to is shattered. Amber Heard is now also an example of using a movement to their advantage, even going further with her Instagram post stating, "I'm even more disappointed with what this verdict means for other women. It is a setback. But I see this as a leap forward when it comes to coming forward about domestic abuse. And this just shows how we need to follow that saying within the courtroom, innocence until proven guilty, and not the other way round. As long as you know the truth of your story, male, female, or non-binary, then you have the strength to tell your story. As for their professional lives, it is still being affected. Johnny Depp has still lost his roles from both the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise and the Fantastic Beast franchise. Amber Heard's screen time is being cut down in the upcoming Aquaman 2 film, even though there are online petitions containing millions of signatures to completely remove Heard from the film. Will Johnny Depp be accepted back in those roles again? And what will happen now to Amber Heard with her acting career? You may still be Team Amber or have changed to Team Depp by the end of this trial, but here's something to think about. These are both damaged people with real problems, both physical and psychological. This has been a battle for both parties, good or bad. All of the evidence, allegations, and testimonies are all online for everyone to see. This will live with them forever. So I ask you this: who is the real winner?